The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. How are you? Let me fix this. Okay, good. Let me put it in front of my face so you can't see me talking at all. Yeah, my mouth is moving. You can't even see. Okay, fine. Hi, welcome to the show. I am Ron Van Dam, and this is the Ron Van Dam Show. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I'm still doing it. And we do a broadcast radio station syndicated across the country, and also all those internet platform things, iHeartRadio and Stitcher and Amazon Music and Pandora Music, not Pandora the jewelry company, the music company. And all of them, Apple Podcasts, you name it, whatever, I do it. I don't do it because I want to do it. I do it because that's where I end up. Thanks for being here. How are you? All right. Look, a lot of people think I just do this show to publicly complain about things. You're right. That's the only reason I do this. We all go through things and we try to make things better, but it doesn't work out too well. Look, I'm dressed up for you today. And I have a feeling that if you're watching this show, you're not even wearing pants. That's just a feeling that I get, and I think I'm probably right. So put some pants on before I go any further. I live in a town. I won't mention the town. Begins with an E, ends with an N, which could be anything, basically. Could be Eggertown, for all you know. But I'll tell you something. Let me just give you a clue. The pandemic thing with the COVID, it's over. The only people that wear masks are people that are sick and don't want to spread it with other people or are incredibly paranoid about getting another pandemic disease. Beyond that, it's over. Which is great. But it's over. So, let's get back to doing the things that we did before that we all enjoyed. One of those things that I enjoy because I love to eat, everybody loves to eat, are these taste of, and then you put the name of the town in there. And what you do is you buy a ticket. You know, it's a little pricey, but not that much. And you walk around and you taste all the samples from all the restaurants in your general area, not just in your town, but your whole general area, your geographical area. And you taste their goods, and they're wonderful. It's a wonderful evening of food enticement, and various charities and businesses and foundations and organizations from around that area. They set up little booths around the food. It's all indoors, air conditioned. It's all good. And they give you free water bottles and things like that and free pens. And you get to learn their organizations. And in some cases, you're saying, whoa, this is pretty cool. I think I'm going to do you. And usually there's a little jazz band from the high school playing, you know. And it's just a great publicity day with food and drink and merriment and seeing your neighbors that you haven't seen for a while, your town neighbors, people from the next town. It's a wonderful gathering. Everybody's happy. Everybody goes home happy. So why aren't we doing this anymore? Why not? What's your problem? Before we used to have buffets. Then COVID hit and, oh, no more buffets. COVID is over. Do the buffets again. They were fun. There's nothing wrong with it. I want to eat a little bit of that food and a little bit of that food and a little bit of that food. That's what I like about a buffet. Let's do them. Let's stop being so scared about each other. Now, I don't particularly care for people whatsoever, by the way. I think the human race is a horribly depressing and disappointing situation. However, I have no problem being amongst people that are there for the same reason. In Brockton, Massachusetts, that's a city in a state. They used to have a big deal. They would do these gigantic halls and these gigantic venues, and There would be foods from various cultures, because Brockton is a very culturally rich area, an urban kind of wonderful feel. So we would have food from all different cultures at this thing. And it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. Let's get back to it, shall we? What's the problem? What's wrong with you? What are you scared of? Bring it back. If there's anybody from the various towns in the area who are watching this show at this point, because I do this on radio. I only do this on this TV thing once a week. So this is my only platform for that, for the local stuff. Get it together, man. Let's do this. Come on, let's do this. Bring the communities back together again. Make them feel like communities. Bring them back. I know you do other stuff, but let's get this going. Start with these food tasting things again, please. All right. That's all I want to say about that. Now do something about it. One of your little town meetings. Discuss it. I am annoying. There's no question about it. I'm not arguing with you. I went to the IKEA store in Stoughton, Massachusetts. I live in Massachusetts. Did you realize that? I went to the IKEA store. It's been a while since I've been able to figure out how to spell the name of that store. But it's IKEA, and it's, I don't know if it's Swiss, Norwegian, from Finland, Scandinavian. I have no idea what they're doing. But there they are. It's a gigantic store. And the idea of this store is that you go inside and you look at furniture, and then you never leave again, because the exit signs don't lead to the exits, really. They just lead to other parts of the store. So you're only exiting that part of the store to be exited into another part of the store. That's not an exit. Technically, no, but whatever. What if there was a fire in the IKEA store? Not that there should ever be, and I'm sorry I said that, but what if there was a fire? They would all perish from the earth, because there's no way out of that place. There's no way out. That's my first problem with the IKEA store, is literally, once they have you in there, you are basically have been kidnapped. You basically have been abducted by a store, because there's no way out. That's my first problem. My second problem with that store is that you have to assemble everything in it that you buy. I bought a pack of a dozen pencils. I thought that would be wonderful. Come to find out, I have to assemble them. When I got home, there were little rods of graphite and wood shavings and these little erasers that you pop onto the finished product when the pencil has been assembled. Who assembles pencils? At IKEA, you have to do that. IKEA has nothing that you simply buy and use. You must assemble everything. I bought a lamp from IKEA, Kino, whatever. And I screwed the shade on, and I plugged it in, and then I got the bulb out, and I found out I have to actually make the bulb. I have to blow the glass myself in a kiln or some type of glass blowing machine, and I have to insert the LED lights into it. I don't even know. Filaments. I was familiar with filaments. I don't know what to do with them, but I was familiar. I don't know how to put an LED light bulb together, but you have to assemble it. You can't just buy them at IKEA. You have to put them together yourself. And I can't assemble things. I used to not buy my kids anything for Christmas because I didn't want to have to end up assembling them. My son at one point wanted a bicycle, and I said, I'm not getting you a bicycle because I'm not assembling that. I don't know what I'm doing. And he said, well, can't you just get a bicycle that's been assembled already? And I said, no, I can't. Too much work. I can't assemble things. I can't follow directions. That's that's what makes me the guy I am. I cannot follow whatever you tell me. If you tell me to do something, I will purposely not do it. I've never been in the military because they would throw me out after 5 minutes. Van Damme, you're just not following directions. I can't. I'm not capable. I cannot do what other people tell me to do. I'll do the right thing always because I am a moral, wonderful person. But I can't do it because you told me to do it. I can't do that. Sorry, no. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Well, I feel really animated today. All right. I can't assemble. I don't like to assemble. I assemble from pictures. If I see a picture of the final product, I will take the parts and put them together to somehow look like what the picture is. And it never works out. It never works out. I always assemble whatever it is, like a chair or a desk or something, and then I find out, oh, the drawers don't open. Hey, I can't sit on the chair. It falls apart. Well, you didn't follow directions, Ron. I know, but I put it together to make it look like the picture that's on the front of the box. So I do as much de-assembling as I do assembling. You did it wrong. Take it apart. Oh, my God. I'm not good for this. Don't ask me to assemble. I can't do it. I bought a chair from Staples. By the way, Staples has more than just Staples, I found out. It's an office supply store. Who knew? Why don't you change the name of your store to Office Supplies or something like that? Or not just Staples. How about that? Or Staples and More. Bed Bath Beyond and Staples. Something like that. So I find out they have like ink for the printer. I didn't know that. It's not called printer's ink. It's called Staples. And they have these wonderful chairs. So I bought one. And the guy said, do you want it assembled? And I said, what, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? You think I'm going to buy a chair and then put it together myself? Was this a joke? And he said, if you don't want to buy it, then get the hell out of my store, Van Dam. So I said, well, how much is the assembly fee? He said, $20. I said, okay, sure. Somebody wants to assemble something for me for $20. Let that be their problem. So yeah, I paid for assembly. Speaking of assembly, when I was in high school, I think it was junior high school. I think you call it middle school here in this part of the country. When you went to the auditorium, they called it assembly. That was the assembly hall. And I would never go. And they'd say, Ron, you're supposed to go to assembly. I can't go to that word. I can't go to any room that has that word as its title. I can't assemble things. I will not go to an assembly because it's counterproductive to my personality. So no. So I didn't go. I have given up by switching subjects. I have given up on the human race. I'm done. I'm done with you people. I've given up on the entire human race. They have disappointed me. They don't seem to understand the key elements of being a human and observing the properties of the human race. The human race, by choice, has decided to destroy its own planet. They have decided to annihilate themselves. And I find that is a quality that the human race just is not worthy of existence. The planet will always be here, but we will not be able to survive on it. I don't know when you're watching this show, but when I was younger, or just 10 years ago, there would be a heat wave in the summer that would be like 3 days of over 90-degree temperatures, and that was a heat wave. And we had 2 or 3 of those things in the space of an entire summer, maybe 4 if it was a really bad summer. Now, it's heat wave for a week. 5 days in a row, 90-degree temperatures. Then for 2 days, it'll be 88. And then 4 days of 90, 95, 97. 1 day of 89 takes us out of the heat wave. And then 4 days of 97, 98, 95, 102. What the hell's going on? Every year is the hottest year ever on record. And you know, we're on track for that to happen this year as well. There's no question about it. When do the alarms have to go off in your face to make you realize that we have screwed this up royally to the point where now we've really got to pay for this? You might be sitting in a room with air conditioning right now if you're watching this show in the summer. I don't know. I don't know when they replay this stuff. You might be sitting in a room with air conditioning. You've got to realize you're a small percentage of the planet that even has air conditioning. Most people don't. They live with fans that only blow hot air if they even have that. A lot of places have no screen windows. Open up the window, bugs come on in. Most of the planet does not live as well as you do. And you think that, oh, I'm not well off. You are. Compare, if you traveled at all outside of this country or to various parts of this very country, you would realize most people are suffering and dying and having problems getting water and breathing and staying cool to the point where they don't pass out and staying hydrated. You don't understand. You are lucky if you have air conditioning. Not everybody does. That is not the standard. That is the exception. We're destroying the planet. And we're taking the human beings and we're making them suffer big time. So thank you, human race. Thank you very much. I've given up on you because we have people running for president that say, hey, screw the environment, let's drill for oil and who cares? I don't think you understand. I don't think you get it. I know you don't. Someone's got to stand up and take responsibility for this and say, we got to do something to change it a little bit. Yeah, we'll all be dead before it really affects us any great extent, but that's just the beginning of the suffering. It only gets worse, not better. So, giving up on the human race. Ron, don't give up. Too late. What else do I want to talk about today that will annoy you somewhat? I wanted to talk about the judicial system. And judicial has nothing to do with Jews, by the way. Those that are totally uneducated. He said judicial. He's talking about the Jews. I'm not. Judicial has to do with justice. And we've talked about this before, or at least I have on this show. All men are not created equal. That is a stupid thing to say because you know it's not true. Here's the bottom line, and this pissed me off. The more money you have, the more you can buy yourself out of trouble. You can buy yourself out of trouble. No, Ron, our judicial system doesn't allow you to buy yourself out of trouble. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. It feeds into it. If you're in legal trouble and you have a lot of money, you can get yourself the best lawyers on the planet, and they will get you off. Not in the way that it sounds like it means, but I mean like not go to jail and not be convicted. I mean it that way. Get you off has two meanings in this particular subject matter. If you have money, you can get away with a lot of things. If you do something horrible, like rob a bank or something of that sort, you'll be in jail awaiting trial. If you hurt people monetarily or take away their freedoms or their ability to have a life, then your trial could be scheduled for 3 or 4 years from now. Does it take that long to prepare for a trial? No, But if you pay your lawyers enough money, they will find ways to delay this trial until when the trial comes, nobody can remember what happened 3 or 4 years ago. You might say, Ron, why do they have these trials like 3 or 4 years later? I don't know. That's not justice. That's stupid. Are we all too busy or something? What's the problem here? There's a trial going on right now. I don't know, again, when you're watching this, I have no idea. But Alex Baldwin, the actor, he shot a cinematographer, not on purpose. He was pointing the gun toward the camera, and this lady was sitting behind the camera, and he shot the girl. He claims he didn't pull the trigger. He simply cocked the gun back, and it went off by itself. Is he responsible for killing her? Well, no. Unless he was the producer, the main producer of the film, which he was. But somehow the defense in front of the judge said, well, when we go to trial, we can't mention that Alex Baldwin was one of the producers. We can't? No, you can't mention it because it's prejudicial and it could sound bad for him. So the judge said, you're right, has nothing to do with it. So now the jury hears a trial with Alex Baldwin shooting the gun, but not knowing that Alex Baldwin also was responsible as producer of the entire film. Jury will never hear that. See, that's where the judicial system and the court system becomes a game. It's just a game. Was Alex Baldwin the producer of the film? Yes, he was. Does that make him sound worse, like he's more culpable? Yes, he was the producer of the film, but the jury is not to know that. This is crazy. This is playing the game because he was the producer of the film. It's for the jury to decide whether that is consequential or has anything to do with it. The jury can decide that. They're not a bunch of children. But the judge says, no, they can't know that he was the producer. What? He was the producer. It makes no sense. Because in my estimation, the justice system is for the rich and famous. They can get away with whatever they've been charged at because of the expertise of the lawyers that they pay for. Can you afford those lawyers? No. So your outcome would probably be different. Of course, you know it would be different. And that's what is not fair about the legal system. Is it fair that a president of the United States would appoint judges to the Supreme Court and then ask the Supreme Court to make some decisions? And remember, I got you the job. I put you there. So which way are those justices leaning? Well, they're actually judges and Supreme Court judges. They don't care who put them there. Oh, I could say a dirty word, bull something. This is not right. And how long do they have that job? Till they die. This is not right. I think it's so obviously not right, but yet this is what we do. So the justice system, no. Good theory, good idea. On paper, beautiful. In actual practice, doesn't work out. Doesn't work out. No matter what you do to my client, I will delay it. I will challenge it. I'll tie this up for years because I'm a high-powered attorney and I know the system and I know the game and I can play the game. I know every nook and cranny because you're paying for someone who has that knowledge and that reputation and that ability. Those who have money can pay their way out of trouble. It's true and you know it, and it's totally unfair. And most people are not rich and not famous, and you should be pissed. You should be pissed, but you're not. I hear the excuse with the justice system, well, It's not perfect. They admit it. It's not perfect, but it's the best we have. Oh, and that's what you're going with. No room for improvement. Just, that's what we're going with. It's not great, but it's all we got. Oh, wonderful. Impressive. Impressive. Very impressive. All right, fine. All right, that's enough. It's that time of year with hurricanes, right? We name our storms after people. There's a Hurricane Beryl recently. I don't know anybody named Beryl. Beryl. Do you know anybody named Beryl? I don't either. What if there was they got to the K's and there was a Hurricane Karen? Well, Karen's already got somewhat of a reputation as being whatever. Oh, she's a Karen. That doesn't sound like a good thing, and it's not. So maybe like a Hurricane Karen would kind of make sense, right? What if your ex-wife's name is Amy or something, and it's Hurricane Amy? Well, we go to the A's. Hurricane Amy. Yeah, she devastated the land and my life. Not only is she a horrible storm that caused death and destruction across Texas, she also ruined my life when she left me with nothing. No visitation rights for the children. That's Hurricane Amy for you. Aptly named. It must be awful. I mean, they use your first name for a hurricane and you devastate towns and cities and you flatten them and, hey, it's named after me. That's not a good thing. And they talk about you for decades. Remember Hurricane Donna? Oh, caused death and destruction. Didn't it, Donna? I don't know. I don't know why we name things after, why we attach human identities to storms. It's kind of like silly, isn't it? We do it with dogs. I think dogs and animals should be named after personalities, emotions. My cat is named Fluffy. I don't have a cat, but if it was, it would be named Fluffy. Because that's a characteristic of the cat. I can deal with that. But I'm not going to give my cat a human name. How's your cat? Oh, you're talking about Marcia? Yeah, Marcia, how's she doing? She's great. She sits in my lap. What, is she a stripper? No, she's a cat. Why do you call her Marcia? It's a name. I had a friend, and he named his dog Bob. And I could never figure that out. I wasn't sure why he would call his dog a familiar human name. Makes no sense. It's just kind of wrong, I guess, or odd, or freaky, or it's weird. Sit on the couch. Hey, Bob, how you doing? It just doesn't make sense. It's just odd. It shouldn't be. It should be illegal. But even if it were illegal to name your dog Bob, it would take like 3 or 4 years to get to the court system, and then they'd forget why you called the dog Bob. You know what I'm talking about. You see, because as human beings, what our greatest talent is, when time passes, we forget it really happened. We forget the impact of when it happened, the horrors of it, the disgusting time of life. After a few years, yeah, it was bad. That's all I remember. Because we're human beings. We just don't remember this stuff. We forget everything. Like a bunch of amnesic patients walking through the ward. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll be back again next week. Until then, I wish you peace.